So there's a couple of things that I notice about these confirmation hearings, right? The two things that I notice is one, these Democrats in Congress can't do nothing with not a single one of Donald Trump's picks. Not one. Not one. They are getting cooked by all of them. Pete Hegseth cooked them. Pam Bondi cooked them. Tulsi's now cooking them. RFK Jr. cooked them. Cash Patel is cooking them. They can't do nothing with none of them. Like it's a wrap, bruh. It's laughable at this point. You got Bernie Sanders up there looking like Doc from Back to the Future, all hunched over, screaming at RFK. Like, bruh, and I'm sitting there looking like, bro, why are you still in Congress, fam? I'm so sick of these old, washed up fogies. I'm sick of them, bruh. And here's the crazy thing, right? This is how you know Donald Trump picked people that are on the up and up. This is how you know every person he picked is about justice and not corruption. Because everything that Congress is asking them, everything that the Democrats is asking them, just makes them look more corrupt. Have y'all noticed this? Have y'all noticed that the more questions that the Democrats in Congress keep asking, they just look more and more corrupt? Like, I'll give you the main example that caught my attention, right? The main example that caught my attention was this. Every one of these picks are people that Donald Trump picked to work for him in the executive branch. In other words, these are not elected people. Okay? Pam Bondi was not elected. Cash Patel was not elected. Tulsi Gabbard was not elected. RFK Jr. was not elected. Pete Hegseth was not elected. None of them were elected to these positions. These are people that the president picked to work for him. In other words, he's their boss. They work in the executive branch. Okay? The president is the head of the executive branch. Don't you find it interesting that after 4 years of Joe Biden doing whatever the hell he wanted to do, all of a sudden now, the Democrats are concerned about the president's picks giving him pushback? The main question they keep asking all of them: so if the president asks you to do something unethical, will you resign? Why would the president ask them to do something unethical? Why are you so adamant about that? I'll tell you why you're adamant about that. Because now that Donald Trump is in Joe Biden's position, they are terrified that he's going to do what Joe Biden did. which is what? Ask people to do unethical shit. Like they are literally telling on themselves. Literally. Literally telling on themselves. Let's think about for a second let's think about what Congress is asking. Congress will ask them that question, and all of them give the same answer. The answer is, I will only do what is lawful. I will only operate within the law. That should be an acceptable answer. But why isn't it? Why isn't it an acceptable answer? The reason why it isn't an acceptable answer, because once these people get confirmed, if they go after certain individuals, it is highly possible that they will be well within the law to do so. Because let's not make no mistakes about it. What they want is they want Trump and everybody that he's trying to confirm to basically give them a promise that they're going to ignore everything that just happened in the past 4 years. That's what they want. They want assurances that Donald Trump's administration is just going to turn a blind eye to everything that happened in the past 4 years. Quincy said, Hedge Seth is grossly unqualified. Based on what? Based on what? Explain to me how he's unqualified, Quincy. Explain to me how he's unqualified. Because I'm pretty sure you have a good answer. I'm pretty sure you're not saying that just because you heard it on the news. So give me the reason why he's unqualified. No, don't worry about Quincy. He good for right now. I'm waiting to hear his answer. How is he unqualified? Please explain. Please explain. And by the way, make sure y'all hitting the Cash App supporting the show. We need another sponsor. We need another sponsor on the Cash App side of the game. Come on, Quincy. Come on, I'm starting to think you're just repeating things. Come on, I'm trying to give you a shot. I'm trying to give you a chance to explain. I'm trying to give you a chance to explain. Come on, Quincy. Come on. Come on. Come on, Quincy. I know you can do it. I know you can do it, Quincy. Come on, Quincy. Come on, Quincy. I really want to hear this answer. I want to hear it so badly. I want to know how someone can tell me that Pete Hegseth is not qualified to be the head of the Pentagon when you just had a potato running the country for 4 years and you didn't say anything. You had a convalescent potato as commander-in-chief for 4 years, and you didn't say a mumbling word. Which, by the way, what qualifications do you need to be head of? What qualifications do you need to be to be appointed by the president in any of those positions? What qualifications do you need? Do colleges have some program like, because when you want to be a doctor, you go to med school. When you want to be a lawyer, you go to law school. I didn't know that colleges had a program for people who wanted to become the head of the Pentagon. So what qualifications are you talking about? And why didn't we hear anything about these qualifications when Joe Biden was confirming all of those clowns that he had in office that didn't do shit? I mean, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, BINO Nation, but in 2020, did you hear anything about the qualifications of Joe Biden's picks? In fact, some of them got picked simply because they were part of the Skittle Squad. So what are you talking about? You literally had a president in office for 4 years that was picking people based on their identity. You didn't say anything then. You literally have a Supreme Court justice that they picked simply because she's a black woman. They literally said it. They said it's time for there to be a black woman as a Supreme Court justice, and they put her up there. And during her confirmation hearing, she couldn't even define what a woman was. See, if I had to guess, I would say that there are two things that would qualify you to be the head of the Pentagon. One would be the president's faith in your ability. And two would be military experience. Now, here's my question. Does he have those two things? Does he have those two things, Quincy? Does he have military experience? But guess what? Guess what, Quincy? Guess what, Quincy? I got a little bit of news for you. It doesn't matter what you think because he's already been confirmed. Don't matter what you think, bruh. It don't matter. So you gonna have to go somewhere and cry your liberal tears, because it don't matter, fam. He in there like swimwear. I got another prediction for you. All of them gonna be in there like swimwear. All of them. All of them. Now go ahead and tell me Cash Patel ain't qualified either. Go ahead and tell me Pam Bondi ain't qualified either. Go ahead and tell me Tulsi Gabbard ain't qualified either. Go ahead and tell me RFK Jr. ain't qualified either. Did y'all hear RFK call them out? Did y'all hear it? Did y'all hear it? Did y'all hear RFK call them out? Hold on, let me pull this up so you can see it. Here we go right here. Here we go right here.
Now, will you guarantee do what every other major country does? It's a simple question.
And by the way, Bernie, the problem of corruption is not just in the federal agencies; it's in Congress too. Almost all the members of this panel are accepting, including yourself, are accepting millions of dollars from the pharmaceutical industry.
Oh, no. Wait! You know how gangster you gotta be to do that? Do you know how gangster you gotta be to do what he just did? Sweet Jesus, sweet Jesus, sweet Jesus.
Will you guarantee do what every other major country does? It's a simple question.
And by the way, Bernie, the problem of corruption is not just in the federal agencies; it's in Congress too. Almost all the members of this panel are accepting, including yourself, are accepting millions of dollars from the pharmaceutical industry.
Oh, no,
and
no,
protecting
no, no,
their
no.
interests.
Oh, I thought that would come. No.
Well, watch his explanation. Watch his explanation, y'all.
And for president like you, I got millions and millions of contributions. They did not come from the executives, not one nickel of PAC money from the pharmaceutical industry. They came from workers.
In 2020, you were the single largest
because I had
receiver of pharmaceutical money
contributions from workers all over this country. Workers,
you were the
not a nickel from corporate
Bernie,
PACs.
You were the single largest acceptor of pharmaceutical dollars.
No, from workers in
1.5 million.
Yeah, out of 200 million. All right. But
he said 1.5 million. He said, yeah, out of 200 million. So did you just admit it? Sweet Jesus.
You have not answered. Last question. You have not answered my question.
Mr. Chairman, we're 3 minutes.
How do we
make America healthy if you don't guarantee health care?
Chairman, we're literally 3 minutes over here now.
Well,
how long does it keep going? At some time, you're just battering the witness,
Not
Bernie.
battering the witness.
Yes, you are. And you're getting upset at him. You're going at him just like anybody else would.
We'll come to order. Bernie's going over.
Now, let me say this. I'm going to say this right now. The fact that anybody in Congress would sit their ass up there and talk crazy to RFK Jr. is just despicable. And the reason why I say it's despicable is because hasn't his family went through enough? Hasn't his family went through enough without them trying to vilify and demonize him? Like, it is ridiculous, bro. Now, Bernie wasn't the only one that got owned. He wasn't the only one that got owned. Watch this.
The rest of the interview. This is why snippets of information are often misleading and detrimental to this committee's advice and consent process.
If you consent, I would love to have 5 hours of questions, and then I could read the whole transcript.
You've got 2 minutes.
Damn! You got 2 minutes. Make it snappy. Make it snappy. You got 2 minutes. You got 2 minutes. One of the senators made a cash bingo card. That's right. He made a bingo card with all of the things that he knew the Democrats was going to accuse Cash of. And literally said, he said, look, I got a Cash Patel bingo card. And y'all pretty much said everything on this card. Yo, I swear to you, y'all Democrats, y'all just need to go have a seat, bro. Just have several seats, man. Just have several seats. It's a wrap, bruh. It's a wrap. It is a wrap, bruh. And by the way, guess what? Y'all remember the stream I did the other day where I said that black folk should be outraged that countless people across the world are trying to use the 14th Amendment to come into this country illegally. Remember when I said if black folk had any dignity, any self-respect, they would say flat out, yo, the 14th Amendment to the Constitution was put there to right the wrong of the Dred Scott case. It was put there so that people that are descended from slaves will have citizenship because they're born in this country. Y'all remember I said that the other day. Don't you find it ironic that Trump said it in a speech? Don't you find it ironic that now you're starting to see countless black people jump on social media and say that very thing? Y'all find that ironic? Do y'all find that ironic? Now, I'm not saying that Trump or any of those people watch me. What I'm saying is, I'm what the culture's feeling. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm what the culture's feeling. You feel what I'm saying? I'm what the culture's feeling. Real talk. Now, to all of you never Trumpers, never Trumpsters, right? To all of you people that despise Trump, that's running around here talking about some, oh my God, the mass deportations. This is proof that Donald Trump is a racist. I can't believe he's doing this. Oh my God, the humanity. Or you're like Selena Gomez in tears crying, the children. Yo, the way they are roasting her on the internet is hilarious. They done turned her into a whole meme. The way they're roasting her is funny as shit, bro. So you got all of these people running around here. Oh my God, Trump is so racist. Why is he racist? Because he's trying to kick all of the undocumented migrants out of the country. He's racist. It's horrible. Oh, he is. Okay. How about this?
This administration, the Bush administration, has done nothing to control the problem that we have. We've had 5 million undocumented workers come over the borders since George Bush took office. It has become an extraordinary problem. And the reason the American people are concerned is because they are seeing their own economic position slip away. And oftentimes, employers are exploiting these undocumented workers. They're not paying the minimum wage. They're not observing worker safety laws. And so what we have to do is create a comprehensive solution to the problem. Now, I have already stated that as president, I will make sure that we finally have the kind of border security that we need. That's step number one. Step number two is to take on employers. Right now, an employer has more of a chance of getting hit by lightning than be prosecuted for hiring an undocumented worker. That has to change. They have to be held accountable. And when we do those things, I believe that we can take the undocumented workers, the illegal aliens who are here, get them out of the shadows, make sure that they are subject to a stiff penalty, make sure that they're learning English, make sure that they go to the back of the line so they're not getting an advantage over people who came here legally. And when we do that, I think that we can, instead of shedding all this heat, start shedding some light on the problem, and we can once again be a nation of laws and a nation of immigrants. That's what I intend to do as President of the United States. This administration.
Well, not only did he said he wanted to charge them a stiff penalty, make them learn English. Well, I did not expect that. That's Barack Obama. That's y'all savior. That's Jesus' cousin saying that. That's Jesus' cousin saying that. Right? That's Jesus Primo. Right? Let's hold on. Let's see if we can. Well, let's see. I think we got one more. Hold on. I do believe we got one more. Hold on. Let me see. Let's check this out.
So I think we got to have tough conditions. Tell people to come out of the shadows. If they've committed a crime, deport them. No questions asked. They're gone. If they've been working and are law-abiding, we should say, here are the conditions for you staying. You have to pay a stiff fine because you came here illegally. You have to pay back taxes, and you have to try to learn English, and you have to wait in line.
I don't even think Trump said they have to learn English. In fact, I think if Trump would have said they have to learn English, they'd be like, he's so racist. Right? Right?
If you plan to enter the U.S. illegally, your chances of getting caught and sent back just went up. If you're a criminal, you'll be deported. What I'm describing is accountability, a common sense middle ground approach.
They've committed a crime, deport them. No questions asked, they're gone. If they've been working and are law-abiding, we should say, here are the conditions for you staying. You have to pay a stiff fine because you came here illegally. You have to pay back taxes, and you have to try to learn English, and you have to wait in line.
Is that the Democrat crowd cheering? Was Selena Gomez crying back then? Was Selena Gomez crying back then? I need to know. Was Selena Gomez crying back then? Inquiring minds want to know. I want to know. I want to know.
All Americans, not only in the states most heavily affected, but in every place in this country, are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country. The jobs they hold might otherwise be held by citizens or legal immigrants. The public service they use impose burdens on our taxpayers. That's why our administration has moved aggressively to secure our borders more by hiring a record number of new border guards, by deporting twice as many criminal aliens as ever before, by cracking down on illegal hiring, by barring welfare benefits to illegal aliens. We will try to do more to speed the deportation of illegal aliens who are arrested for crimes, to better identify illegal aliens in the workplace, as recommended by the commission headed by former Congresswoman Barbara Jordan. We are a nation of immigrants, but we are also a nation of laws. It is wrong and ultimately self-defeating for a nation of immigrants to permit the kind of abuse of our immigration laws we have seen in recent years, and we must do more to stop it. All Americans.
Well. That was 3 Democrats, right? 2 former presidents and 1 presidential hopeful, who was also the first lady at one point. Where's Quincy at? Where are you Democrats at now? Where are you lefties at now? Could you please say something in the chat and explain this? Could you explain it? I really want you to explain it. I want you to explain why is it every damn time Donald Trump does something, you got a damn problem with it, and it's the same shit your heroes did. Do you know that George Bush Jr., Bill Clinton, and Barack Obama have deported more people than Trump did in his first administration? Did you know that Barack deported a record number of people? So much so they were calling him the deporter in chief. But I didn't hear no outrage while he was president. All I saw was folks bending the knee and puckering up. That's all I saw. That's all I saw. Now all of a sudden, it's a problem. Because it's Trump, it's a problem. Because it's Donald Trump, now it's a problem. You sat back for 4 years. You didn't care what Joe Biden did. You didn't care who he went after. You did not care how he used the DOJ or any of these agencies. You didn't care. You turned a blind eye to it. In fact, it's really weird. We kind of existed in this space 4 years where you complained incessantly about inflation, the cost of living, taxes. You complained about everything while simultaneously kissing Joe Biden's behind. It was the most amazing thing I ever seen in my life. You complained incessantly, but nothing was his fault. In fact, do you want to know the only time a person will be upset about the conditions they live in, but never blame the person who put them in the conditions they live in? Slaves. I'm starting to really believe that the reason you allow the Democrats to get away with everything they get away with is because they are still your slave masters. They're still your slave masters. And psychologically, you know better than to talk bad about massa And this ain't a race thing. This ain't a race thing. I'm talking to every person of every color and creed that's running around here carrying water for the Democrats. In fact, you're worse than the folk that were in antebellum slavery. They were forced to be slaves. Your ass is choosing to be one. You choosing to be one. How do you complain about everything that he did in those 4 years, but never complain about him? And then every single thing that Donald Trump is doing that's actually beneficial to the country, you got a problem with it. Y'all are mad at RFK because he wants the food to be better. And if I remember correctly, when he was running as an independent, y'all loved his funky draws. The moment he decided to hop on the Trump train, all of a sudden he's the worst person on planet Earth. Do y'all think we're not seeing this? Y'all loved Tulsi Gabbard. Y'all thought she was phenomenal as a Democrat. I can go down the list. Y'all loved Elon Musk. Now all of a sudden he's all of these, he's a Yahtzee and all of these other extra things, right? Y'all are full of shit. And we all see it now. We all see it, and it's fitting. It's fitting, because guess what? Damn near all of them, from the president on down, used to be on the left, used to be Democrats. That's how much your team sucks. Your team sucks so bad that everyone is defecting. Everyone is leaving that team in droves because you've lost your minds. And that's really what makes you look crazy. The fact that you got all of these people that you used to love. You used to love them. Now all of a sudden you can't stand them. Now all of a sudden they horrible. Now all of a sudden they raggedy. The weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's the weirdest shit. You're mad at him. Let's see. You're mad at Pete Hegseth because he wants to clean up the Pentagon. You're mad at Kash Patel because he wants to clean up the FBI. You're mad at RFK Jr. because he wants us to stop being at the mercy of the pharmaceutical companies. You're mad at Elon because he wants the government to be held accountable for its spending. And here's the funniest thing about it. Everything that they are trying to clean up, you have constantly complained about. Not just Republicans, but Americans. Americans have been complaining about the tax system. Americans have been complaining about the Pentagon, complaining about the FBI, complaining about the pharmaceutical companies, complaining about corruption and government overreach. You've been complaining about it. And now all of a sudden, you have a problem with the people that want to fix it. And I know what it is. I know what it is. You want your people to be the heroes. And you cannot handle, see, you're suffering from cognitive dissonance. The problem is you've thought this entire time that the Democrats were the heroes. You thought this entire time that the Democrats were the politicians of the people. And you thought the Republicans were the villains. And some of them were. And now you're mad because everything that you see Donald Trump doing, you wish Barack would have did it. You wish Billy Clinton would have did it. But they didn't. Which causes you to have a epiphany, a moment of clarity that you are rejecting. You know what that moment of clarity is? The moment of clarity is you've been following the wrong group of people. You bought into the bullshit. You bought into the lies, hook, line, and sinker. And you are unwilling to admit, you're unwilling to look yourself in the mirror and say, you know what? I made a mistake. I was on the wrong side. And why don't you want to admit that? Because your hatred for Donald Trump is so visceral. Your Trump derangement syndrome is so deeply rooted in your character now that you know you can't give him no props, because if you do, you're going to look like a complete jackass. But I don't know why we're surprised. That is the symbol of your party. A jackass. Not a donkey, a jackass. In fact, let me give you a little bit of history. Let me give you a little bit of history.
Both U.S. political parties have an animal symbol, a donkey for Democrats and an elephant for Republicans, and they plaster the symbols everywhere, on hats, pins, t-shirts, and mugs. But how did that come to be? The donkey symbol dates to Andrew Jackson's presidential campaign in 1828. Jackson's opponents labeled him a jackass, another name for donkey. But Jackson had the last laugh. He incorporated donkeys on his campaign posters and won. Political cartoonists perpetuated the link between Democrats and donkeys. The most famous was Thomas Nast, known as the father of the American cartoon. He is also credited for popularizing the Republican elephant. His satirical drawings appeared in Harper's Weekly in the 1870s, but the Republican elephant appeared much earlier in the pro-Lincoln campaign newspaper Father Abraham. An elephant is holding up a banner celebrating Union military victories. It's a play on the expression "seeing the elephant," which soldiers used during the Civil War, meaning engaging in combat. Republicans' embrace of the elephant has only grown stronger over time. President Gerald Ford and his wife Betty had an elephant room in their California home. In 1984, President Ronald Reagan was given a baby elephant by the president of Sri Lanka. Today, Republicans claim the elephant as the party's official symbol.
Yeah, that's right. And I don't care what Andrew Jackson, I don't care if he did try to spin it. They were calling him a jackass, and he decided to use the symbol as the symbol for the Democrat Party. You got to be careful about when you pick symbols and stuff like that. You know why you got to be careful? Because what are the character traits of a jackass? What are the character traits of a donkey? What are the character traits of a donkey? defiant, stubborn. Mm-hmm. Now, if you look it up today, they'll try to say something positive, right? They'll say something like donkeys are known for being docile, social, and intelligent animals. They are also known for being cautious and observant and for having a strong sense of self-preservation, right? You know, we live in the woke era where they try to make everything seem like it's positive. We all know the donkey is one of the most stubborn creatures to exist. Now, elephants, however, are highly intelligent animals with complex emotions, feelings, and social behaviors. They can be described as having distinct personalities, and their behavior can change depending on the social context. Now, what we've traditionally known about elephants is that they never forget. They never forget. They never forget. So if you look at the Democrat donkey, the first thing you're gonna think is stubborn. If you look at in fact, a donkey is so stubborn that if you try to use a donkey to pull a cart, the only way they're gonna pull a cart is you gotta dangle a carrot in front of them. So in other words, you gotta bribe the donkey just to get him to be productive. Oh my God, I should not be this good at this shit, bruh. Ooh. Now, an elephant, on the other hand, an elephant is a large, powerful pachyderm. I think that's correct. That they say never forgets anything. Now, the thing about an elephant is the elephant will be mad friendly with you until you cross him. Once you cross an elephant, he will never forget. There's a dude on social media. He had done something to an elephant years ago. And the elephant seen him after mad years and did not forget and attacked him. Did y'all see that? That elephant was like, nah, bruh, I ain't letting this slide. We ain't letting this slide. Y'all didn't see that? Here's one story. There's one story that I seen on social media where a man was attacked by an elephant because the elephant remembered him. But guess what? There's another story where an elephant remembered a person that saved him. He said, yes, elephants can remember people who have attacked them. Elephants are known to remember the scent of people who have cared for them even after many years. They can also remember people they have befriended and may show distress when that person dies. Yeah, I would much rather be associated with an elephant than a jackass. Yo, if you just came in here, man, hit the like button, hit the Cash App and support the show. Anybody that drops 100 or more, we need one more sponsor on the Cash App side of the game. We need one more sponsor to support the show. Shout out to Mogul Mays. Shout out to Vernon. He said for the show. Shout out to Dwight. Shout out to Paul. Shout out to Dark Power. Shout out to Stason. I think that's how you pronounce that. Dims be projecting themselves. Yeah, they do. Shout out to Fudge. Shout out to Prince of the Cats. He said, unforgivable. They broke down the door.
$50 boss up. Hey! Stack up and match up.
Shout out to Stason again. Shout out to Convertible Creed. He said, Trump said it best. The Democrats are going to delay. Yep. Shout out to Martell. He said, AM, I served in the military for over 26 years and trust that Pete Hegseth will be an outstanding Secretary of Defense. He's the right military leader we need at this. My bad, y'all. At this juncture. No doubt. No doubt. Let's see. Shout out to, shout out to Rules of Engagement. He said Dems and supporters even trying to blame DJT for the accident, like Trump was flying the plane and helicopter. They on dope and dog food. Shout out to Convertible Creed. He said that part had me like, so did Bernie give back the 199 million? Shout out to Convertible Creed. He said the Dems are like that kid that take their ball and go home because they didn't get picked. Yep. Shout out to Convertible Creed. He said this is Sparta. Shout out to the lowly one. He said Hollywood is full of countless actresses who can cry on command. I don't know who they trying to fool. Shout out to Dwayne. He said Cook AM. Shout out to Convertible Creed. He said Obama watched Putin invade Jordan, deleting millions and did nothing. Shout out to Dunk. He said Kanye was right, LOL. Yes, sir. So I see it's about that time. We're probably not going to get any more sponsors, but I appreciate everybody that did sponsor the show. In fact, hold on. I think we got one more. Wait a minute. Let's see. Shout out to Thomas. He said, keep cooking, AM. Shout out to D Remedy. Shout out to Dennis. He said for the 10 Commandments. And shout out to JC. He said light skinned God. Appreciate you, bro. So, yo, man, shout out to everybody that came through, man. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'm about to get up out of here and go get some rest. Salute to everybody. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate everybody that hit the like button, everybody that hit the Cash App. Appreciate the sponsors. Caesar Leo and Most Hated and Underrated. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys go check out my book, which is available on Amazon. All you have to do is type The Angryman Standard in the search bar and it will come up. Also, if you want to get your Don't Be No Donkey shirt, you can click the link that's on the screen right there, or you can go to shopBinoNation.com. We have it in multiple colors. You feel me? Go check it out. grab you one, all of that good stuff. But other than that, man, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I will be back at you tomorrow. So be on the lookout for me, and I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Deuces.
Spartans! What is your profession?